Hi, everyone. Hello, and welcome to this very, very special session that is dedicated to all incredible mothers out there. I'm Dr. Darshita, a dental wellness expert and a mother myself. And today we are celebrating Mother's Day and diving deep into a topic that often goes unspoken: the emotional and the physical toll that motherhood can take on a woman's overall well being. So, joining me today is renowned psychologist Anuradha Kavuri, who brings a wealth of experience in understanding women's emotional landscapes. Together, we want to raise awareness about how journey of motherhood, right from pregnancy to juggling multiple roles as a mother, her profession, as a wife, as a daughter, as a caregiver, can sometimes lead to neglecting her own self. And yes, that also includes oral wellness, something that reflects both confidence and, health at the same time that gets pushed aside. So let's begin with introducing my speaker. Thank you so much for joining us, Anuradha. So Anuradha Kauri is a psychologist and a psychotherapist. She is an internationally certified cyber psychology expert. She is a WHO certified QPR coach, that is awareness regarding suicide prevention. Her experience is over a decade, including 9,000 plus individual counselings for people who are dealing with anxiety, depression, relationship issues, menopause, teenage issues, and from five different countries. Her patients are based out of five different countries. She's also conducted many mental health awareness and suicide prevention campaigns, mindfulness and cyber safety trainings in schools, colleges, and organizations, including a recent one for the Mumbai Cyber Police Department officials on cyber psychology. That's amazing, Anuradha. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, Darshita.
Thank you so much for doing this for our viewers. So let's dive deep into the questions that I have prepared. So the first question, that came into my mind when I was thinking, motherhood, 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 and my father, just asked me, so it's only about mothers. So I said, yeah, well, it's Mother's Day. But, that kind of raised a question in my mind that the journey that mothers take and the journey that fathers take is different. So can you throw some light on, how the journey is different emotionally and, mentally for both of them?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. And a lot of people, they do want to know about these things because earlier it was not so, but now we say that both the couple are pregnant, right? We are pregnant
Correct.
is what they post.
Yes.
But pregnancy is a journey it's profoundly different for mothers and fathers, emotionally, physically, and psychologically as well.
Correct.
Because of the roles they play and experiences they go through. Okay. So if we talk about mothers, the first thing can be physical experience. So mothers undergo a lot of intense physical changes, है ना? So
Yes.
like a lot of hormonal shifts, body transformation, morning sickness, fatigue, and
Yep.
later labor, delivery. I mean, lots of things, lots of things. And the baby grows inside her. So creating a constant, I can use the word tangible connection that she experiences through her physical experience.
Yeah.
Now, second thing is emotional bonding. So when we say that, a mother often brings bonding with the baby very early because after a certain while, there are ultrasounds that actually, you can hear the heartbeat of the baby. Then, feeling like carrying a life inside us.
Yeah.
That's such a
It's,
beautiful feeling we have,
I
right?
have goosebumps. I'm
Right?
just reminiscing my own journey. Sorry. Please continue.
Right? And through those kicks, you actually, every time you've been told that, there's something inside us, and her emotional state is heavily influenced by the hormonal changes. Sometimes, yeah, bringing the mood swings, anxiety, or the elation, whatever it might be. Now, the third and very important thing is the identity shift that she experiences. So, women may experience a deep sense of identity change as well because till then she's in different roles.
Yeah.
But from an individual to a mother. It's not a transition, it is basically a shift.
Correct.
So this can be both a very beautiful, feeling, at the same time very overwhelming. Oh my God, how am I going to handle this? I'm going to become a mother, right? And so that actually leads to reevaluating the priorities, goals, relationships. What
Yeah.
is going to happen to my career? How is my relationships going to be with everyone? Everything. Though the fathers also experience these things but in a very different way. For them, the psychological preparation is more because they don't experience the physical changes.
Correct.
So their pregnancy journey is more about abstract. So what they're listening from their wife, what they're seeing, what the doctors is telling them, all the
Correct.
ultrasound or the baby chopping that they go, right? These are the things that are telling them that, something is
I'm
going
going
to
to be a
happen.
father.
Yeah, right. And the role transition, wherein for the women it is role identity, but here it is role transition. Um, so men may feel a lot of pressure to be emotionally rock solid, and I have to provide financially
Yeah.
to the baby and to the family, and also many experience silent anxiety about being a good father, supporting their partner, whether I'll be able to handle both of them together or not, or will I be able to handle all the responsibilities that I have?
Yep.
And last is delayed bonding because they don't experience something inside them. Their feeling of me being a father sinks in
A
slowly
little
for them.
later, or maybe just gradually.
Gradually it happens. And it happens since the time that the baby is born, right? The child is born and the father holds the baby. That is when the connection becomes rock solid. Since that, second, it kicks in and then they start feeling very responsible, and then they have these role transition happening, and to their touch, to the play, caregiving. So it's like actively participating in parenting is what happens. So there are a lot of changes, but yeah, it's a beautiful
It
journey,
is
definitely.
different. Yeah, it is different, I think, for both of them to experience,
Absolutely.
the same child that they've brought into the world, but the experience is so different. And like you
True.
rightly said, I think for me, the bulb-on moment is for a woman, it's her identity that changes. And
Hmm.
for a father, it may be a transition of role. And that's a huge difference, honestly. So, and throw some light on how these hormonal changes actually affect a woman's emotional and mental and psychological health. Because pregnancy is all about, those hormones fluctuations and the rise in all the, pregnancy hormones like progesterone, estrogen, oxytocin.
So, just to understand this, think of hormones as a weather system of the body. Okay.
Hmm.
So during pregnancy, the weather changes rapidly and frequently. So whether we talk about estrogen, progesterone, or oxytocin levels, they rise dramatically,
Right.
affecting the emotional climate of the woman. So one moment they feel like bright, sunny day and joy, excitement, and then, oh, I have this craving, I want to eat an ice cream. And it might bring to a storm of anxiety, mood swings, unexplained tears, fears, and
Yeah.
whatnot. So mentally, women may experience forgetfulness. There's something called as mommy brain. Okay. Uh, so there they experience low confidence and heightened sensitivity. It's not a weakness, but it's biological. The brain is literally rewiring to prepare for nurturing and caregiving because till that point of time, even if they are having one child, two children, or three, third kid has been born, they experience the same thing. Maybe the levels might
The
differ.
intensity might be different from
Yes.
different individuals, right?
But they do experience this because whether it is one or 10 children, it doesn't matter. Basically, you are nurturing and then you become the caregiver for them as well.
Correct, correct.
So emotional ups and downs are not uh, just common. They're part of nature's design that if you're becoming pregnant, then yeah, these are the things that you're going to
Yeah,
experience.
I think a big takeaway here for everybody who's listening, especially men, that the phenomenon mommy brain is real. So I have also experienced a lot of forgetfulness. And people in my family can really vouch for, like, Arey, this had happened this day, and I'm like, yeah, really? So I'm gonna blame it on mommy brain now henceforth. And this lasts for a couple of years, no?
Yeah,
So
let's take it in that with
because I think I'm in that phase only, that mommy brain wala phase. Anyway, so new mothers often put their baby's needs before their own
Mhm.
needs. And how does this self-neglect manifest emotionally and psychologically?
So again, I love using metaphors to explain, things. So imagine pouring water from a jug into glasses all day. If you never refill the jug, it
Hmm.
is going to run dry, right?
Hmm.
Similarly, when a mother constantly gives feeding, soothing, managing, taking care of the kid without replenishing her own needs,
Own.
it leads to emotional depletion. And psychologically, this can show up as low self worth, irritability, or even postpartum depression. So, postpartum depression exists, is real.
Yeah.
So, most of the women, they are being told that ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, हमको बच्चे नहीं हुए हैं क्या, हम तो कभी ऐसे नाम लेके कुछ नहीं किए हैं. It is just that earlier generations were not aware of these things. But yes, this generation, now we know it exists, so why not take care of it? The
Correct.
identity shift from woman to mother now often creates confusion, loneliness, that if the self-care is absent, because then you tend to look for people to take care of you, and
Hmm.
not necessary that you get that help every time from the partner or from anyone else.
Yeah, that's
So these are the psychological effects that you might experience if you're not taking care of yourself at that exact point of time.
right. That's very true because, like you said, you can't pour out of a empty cup. So when we learn to fulfill our cups, and as a society in India, I don't know how it is elsewhere in the world, but I think in India it is more like, you're put on a guilt trip if you start doing things on yourself. And your own mother sometimes, your own family will tell you that, why are you doing this or something. But yeah, it's, you're filling your own cup. And I hope, through
And
this.
it's very easy. Yeah, Darshita, this is very easy because you just have to take even 10 minutes of your personal time daily. Okay, maybe you're just taking a sip of coffee or a tea in silence.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
deep breathing, stretching. These can act as that emotional refueling, right?
Yeah, and the
Wherein you're
buffer
just
that
getting
is
that,
required sometimes,
yeah,
that buffer is required.
because at 9 months and then post that, you're only is a baby, 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 baby,
Yeah.
and
And
you forget yourself,
correct.
right? So that should not be happening.
And sleep deprivation is a huge, I think, aspect because as soon as, a mother gives birth, the time of the child, especially in the first 3 months, you feed probably every 2.5 to 3 hours. So you're waking up in the night, you're not having that sound sleep. That also would be taking a huge toll on, a mother's mental and emotional health. So, can you throw some light on how can one deal with this and sleep deprivation?
Yeah, sleep is like software updates for the brain.
Right,
So,
exactly, it is.
so when it's skipped, the system lags. So we have to understand that lack of sleep affects concentration and mood regulation and emotional resilience as well. Because for new mothers, sleep deprivation amplifies stress and lowers patience.
Hmm.
So they, because the baby is constantly looking for some sort of attention from the mother, either by caring or by feeding, whatever it is, but you have to be alert and then available for the baby.
Yeah.
And sometimes this, sleep deprivation might lead to having low patience, leading to emotional outburst or feeling very numb and then profuse crying. It can lead to anything. So it's also a silent trigger for postpartum depression and anxiety, especially when the sleep loss is prolonged and unsupported. So You need to have sleep in shifts uh, with your partner or support system, and let go of the myth that everything must be done by you perfectly, right? You can never be perfect. We are all perfectly
Progress.
imperfect human.
Yeah, and we are all work in progress, honestly. I think that's very
Exactly.
important for the families to acknowledge and kind of give credit to the new mothers that, they've been through, and, we should do everything in our power to support them. And many people feel, actually, many mothers feel like I was also like during Ivan was born, my first baby, like I need to be a perfect mother, like, मैं ये करूंगी. And I know how that pressure kind of, took a toll on me, that I was then not able to do so many other things. And you can't really. So, what, can be done so that we, like, at least the new mothers don't feel this overwhelmed? Like, what can be done? ये perfect mom का जो हमको label चाहिए internally, कि society हमको external validation हमको जो चाहिए, how can you kind of, break from, not break, but how can you tell your mind that नहीं करो ये? It's difficult.
So it's more like a perfect mom ka jo, you know, tag hai. It's like, being ideal. It's like chasing a mirage in the desert.
Yeah.
And it's a run endlessly, but you never arrive to that place. So this pressure definitely leads to a chronic self-criticism, guilt, comparison with other mothers, and it does build a sense of never being enough. Well, you never feel that it's enough. I've done enough. And emotionally, this manifests as anxiety, low self-esteem. Uh, it might lead to emotional withdrawal, and at times it happens with the kid as well. That I don't want this kid. I don't want to right now. I don't want to take care of him, and even
Hmm.
resentment towards the role, because once they get that feeling, they're going to get into the guilt trip again.
Correct.
That, oh my God, how could I think about my baby in this way? So the inner voice becomes very harsh, and
Very
the
critical.
joy of being a mother, right, quietly slips away. So redefining perfect as present is something that everyone can do, because your child needs you, not your perfection.
Yeah.
And there is no definition of being perfect mother. Connection over perfection is a true magic, and you need to experience it rather than putting a lot of pressure of being a perfect mom.
Absolutely. And I think what you said, that being present is so important, because this I realized, I think, when my second baby was born, that sometimes all they need is, just the sight of you. They don't want you to do something which is, out of the box, that, is giving you a gold medal or something. They just want your time. They just want your undivided attention. So today also, like, my children are 9 and 7, but whenever we are eating, I will leave the phone aside and I will feed them. Like, though, my son is 9 year old, but he loves that time. And then, when you think back, actually, what they want is just that small gesture, that you are completely with them. So I think that's a huge thing, that, for everybody out there, all your child needs for you is to be present. And even if it's for some time, so if you're working or if you're doing anything else, just being present for that time. In fact, there was this paper I was reading that said that, emotionally stable children need minimum of 90 minutes a day of a mother's undivided attention. And when I
Undivided
read that,
attention.
I was like, अरे 90 minutes, खाली 90 minutes, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, here we are struggling the whole day. And then, when I look back, I see sometimes that, okay, what did I feel that, as a child, that my mom was, though she was a homemaker and, she provided everything for us, but she would be busy in the kitchen. She would be busy managing the house. Though she is there, but, sometimes when that one-on-one time is missing, that's something which, so I think my tip is to all mothers, just have that one-on-one time. And scientifically it is proven कि 90 minutes if you are there, undivided attention with your children, that is also good enough, minimum उससे ज्यादा है तो अच्छा
And,
ही
and the thing is, mothers do think that they have to be sitting with the kid 24/7 to make them feel that the
that's
mother is available. But that is not the case. It's a personal experience that when my child was months, months, I think he was seventh or ninth month, right? 6 to 7 months ke beech mein. So we used to put him in the cradle, and then we used to have that mosquito wala room. And whenever he used to listen to my pile, okay, I wear those pile. So
yeah.
whenever he used to hear to that, he just used to make all noises, and then,
He knew that you're coming.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I used to keep talking to him. I said, yeah, yeah, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm doing. So every time he felt, though I've not taken him into my hands,
But
but I always used to be communicating with him that I'm there around him.
hmm.
Even that is something that you can do for your kids, not necessary that you have to leave out everything and sit. That definitely is one of the things you need to do, but not 24/7.
Right, because when you do that 24/7, you are heading for burnout. And I have also experienced that a little bit in my life, that, where I felt like I was completely burned out. I was like, okay, this is not happening. This is just not happening. So, how can mothers save themselves from that burnout? How do you, what is the self-talk you need, honestly, to save yourself from burnout?
So that's a very beautiful question because a lot of mothers do not understand that they also go through a burnout, stage. So burnout doesn't always scream. It is not something that is visible there.
Yeah.
It actually is a whisper. The subtle signs include constant tiredness, despite resting. Matlab, they are
Hmm.
coming from office, they're taking care of the baby, they're resting. But despite resting, there's constant tiredness, losing interest in the things that they once enjoyed. Okay. And frequent forgetfulness. Mommy brain is not that intense now at that point of time, but because other things have occupied their mind, so
Hmm.
frequent forgetfulness, snapping over small things and a sense of running an autopilot mode. Like if they become robot, they become very monotonous. Okay, I gaye, kahiye, chale gaye. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Emotionally, it might feel like living with the volume turned down, dull, joyless, very robotic. But you need to check with yourself at that point of time if you're undergoing it or you feel like you're going to be in that state. What do I need today?
Hmm.
What is it that I have to be doing today? Do not think about what you've done yesterday because past is never going to be reset,
Hmm.
right? You cannot do anything about it or be done. And future is something that is very unpredictable. So why not just live it today? And this one question will give a lot of answers. Like even a 5 minute reset can prevent from a breakdown later. So morning, as soon as you get up, just write down what are the things you want to handle today so that you can have time with your baby and also handle the things at your workspace. So there is no pressure on you or there is no uh, constant pressure on you that you
Yeah.
have to be doing everything. And anyway, we have talked about being perfect. You can never be perfect. You can try to be present.
Perfect. And make a list in the morning of whatever things that are important to be done. And yes, leave some time for yourself, what you enjoy doing. So I remember when I was like, what used to give me joy, honestly, was going to my clinic. And that would be the time that I would be like, this is my time. And even if it was matlab, simple checkup hua, scaling or filling, even if it's a small work, but I used to feel so excited. I'm like, I'm going to clinic and I'm doing something that fulfills my cup. So I think, yeah, those are some very nice tips. And organizing your day is something that has helped me definitely a lot. And then we have, either family, or we have our partners, or we have somebody who tells us that, oh, you're working, and who's taking care of your baby. And sometimes I used to feel like saying, yeah, ये खाली baby मेरा नहीं है, मतलब it's a part of a unit, it's a part of a family, and everybody plays an important and integral role in taking care of the baby and bringing up the baby. But having said that, right now my logical brain is saying, but even when people have asked me, friends, and like, innocent question, are who's taking care of your baby? Internally, we go on a guilt trip. Internally, we feel like, Arey, I'm not able to be there. Should I do this? Should I do that? We question ourselves. So how do you get out of this mommy guilt and this loop that follows thereafter? Because then you're not doing justice to your career. You're not doing justice to what you want to do at that time. And your brain is continuously like, okay, what do I do? And so yeah, throw some light on the mommy guilt.
Okay. So, Darshita, mommy guilt and career guilt are very, very common for women, who have delivered a baby. Because that definitely we spoke about the not the transition, but the identity part. So
Correct.
they want to be perfect in both the places. So, if like guilt is like carrying an invisible backpack filled with rocks. You go through the emotions, but everything feels heavier.
Hmm.
Leaving the child at the daycare, or you've been questioned for not performing in your office. It chips away all the self-worth and inner peace,
Hmm.
right? And this chronic guilt that we experience, right, distorts all the decision making. बहुत ज्यादा ये हो जाता है ना कि emotionally you start feeling very drained out and disconnect from whatever is happening right now.
Hmm.
So disconnection from own needs and dreams as well. ऐसा नहीं कि you're disconnecting from people or the situations. It's you're disconnecting with yourself also. So most of it has been observed that the women, they start thinking that I should do this. It
Hmm.
should be like this. I should
Rigid.
achieve this. Rather than that, if we can just change it and then we say that I choose to do this,
Hmm.
because we always have choices. It's just that we never want to look at a choice. We always have only one opportunity and we feel that is the only opportunity that I have to be choosing, right? But this is a choice that you're making out of love for your child, at the same time for your career. And these are never a failure. These can never be failures. So instead of I should, I have to, I must, replace them with I choose to do this today. I do not. Right? So
Yeah.
that will relieve a lot of stress and then the guilt as well. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, when you were saying, I was having goosebumps, and I was like, you know what? I should have told myself this earlier. I choose this, rather than going on that guilt trip. And I think, I hope, this is also seen by families, not only moms to be, but as a family, what kind of support, emotionally, mentally is required for raising a new person in the family who's obviously very little, but the mothers also kind of have, a lot of roles that they have to play, so that that compassion, the understanding that comes, because I feel, when the woman has become a mother, like you rightly said, there is this identity shift. So all her roles, the time that, she was giving as a wife, as a homemaker, as a daughter-in-law, sister, multiple friends. So, how does one deal with, or how can one deal with this shift and the change? Because I have felt personally, for other people, when this change happens, they will just loosely say that, "अरे तुम कितना बदल गए हो." But yes, बदल गए हैं, because that is the need of the hour. But what kind of conversation can a woman have with either the partner or the daughter, I mean, the parent or the in-laws or the family, that makes them also realize that, yes, obviously there is a change, and her role as all these multiple, the multiple roles are going to be different. So, how can that conversation be made?
Um, so whatever you did share, Darshita, it adds to the emotional load of the woman. Okay. So just like, it's the woman is pressurized and then she's juggling and balancing roles as a
Right.
mother, as a wife, maybe as a professional, as a daughter-in-law, right? And each role has its own expectations. And in India, cultural expectations often demand obedience, caregiving, emotional regulation, especially, especially as a daughter-in-law. There are certain things that are expected from her. But this is something that people need to know, that this emotional labor goes unseen, but is deeply exhausting for the woman. And for the mother, she feels like, any small thing can trigger her. And this internal conflict, resentment, and guilt actually pulls her left, right, center. Because she doesn't know where the boundaries exist. मेरे boundaries क्या है? I feel so unrespected right now.
Hmm.
मेरे boundaries मुझे ही नहीं पता. No one is understanding me, and I'm not able to explain anyone. There are two problems there. So these boundaries that I'm speaking about are not like walls. They're just filters. Okay, अपने सामने.
Yeah.
Communi- First thing is, you need to communicate very kindly but clearly about what you can and you can't do.
Hmm.
You can have a fight. You can, fight with your partner. You can fight with your in-laws. You can fight with your parents, whoever it might be. But it's not about the fight. It's more about when you kindly, very calmly, when you communicate to them that these are the things I can do, but these are the things, do not expect it right away. Maybe later, I will definitely take them over, but can't do right now. This, I do not have that capacity right now. My bandwidth is this. But for that, you need to be aware as a mother that this is
Yeah.
what is
This is
bandwidth.
the bandwidth. Correct. Absolutely.
Again, the choice part comes in. Rather than shoulds and musts, let us have choices that I can do this, I can't do this. Let's accept it.
Yeah, true, very true. And hopefully, the families are mature enough to accept that. And yes, I hope, this
But do
goes out
not
to
have
the
that expectation. We should not be having that expectation. It's more about you are feeling okay sharing that, this is what I can do. I cannot do the other things. First, you start accepting it, only then have an expectation. But having no expectation is the best part because then it will not matter.
correct. Absolutely. So, what advice would you give to moms who feel like they don't have the time or the energy to prioritize? Now, because some families are nuclear families, they do not have support of other family members. And, then how does one tackle? Because फिर तो कोई है भी नहीं. Yes,
Hmm.
needs or something could be there, but that also, takes a long time for the trust to build, to keep your child with another person who's not a part of the family. So what advice would you give them, like how can they have the time to prioritize their emotional and psychological health?
Yeah, I often keep saying that you can't drive far on an empty tank.
Hmm.
Self care isn't indulgence, it's maintenance. And it doesn't have to be elaborate.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to spend a whole day taking care of yourself. When you're taking care, bath, take a slow bath. Just have your own time of 10 to 15 minutes of taking care. Taking a walk without your phone, always being constantly being available, right? 10 minutes of walk without your phone. Deep breaths whenever you're feeling a bit exhausted or overwhelmed with eyes closed. And it counts because when you're closing your eyes, then you're internalizing.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
true.
you're actually working with your senses. When you're keeping your eyes open, you're to seeing everything, and it will only trigger a lot of things. Um, Start small. Even a pebble can ripple the whole pond, right? So scheduling me time like a doctor's appointment, Ashita, you yourself are a doctor. If I'm scheduling an appointment, I would be there on time. There is a certain time I spend and then I go back to my house,
Correct.
right? Just like a doctor's appointment, you need to schedule your me time. If it's on a calendar, perfect. It becomes non-negotiable then. Maybe weekly once or 15 once in 15 days. Just go for a spa and come back if you want to feel
Hmm.
comfortable.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, once the baby is sleeping, maybe you can have a nice nap. Do not try to do everything at home when the baby is sleeping. You also take a nap along with baby. That will
Correct.
also replenish certain energy. So there are thousand simple, very small things that you can do. Uh, to and prioritize yourself. When you are healthy, you keep your baby healthy. If you're exhausted,
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup. That is my takeaway, definitely. And lastly, how can we normalize the self-care or the pampering that, mothers want to give without feeling this thing to explain other people or, other anybody else except themselves? How can we normalize this? Is there a way to normalize it?
so first we have to change the narrative of self-care is selfish. Okay, self-care,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
We have to change that narrative, and to self-care is sacred. So that is something which is sacred because it's the birth is 9 months, right? The period of the birth, the time before the birth, and after that, at least for 1 year, you are some way or the other being part of the baby's life. But after that, there is a lot of life that you have to spend with yourself, and your body needs that energy and needs that care at that point of time because a lot of hormonal changes, a lot of physical changes has already, you've experienced. And now, if you're not taking care of it and suddenly leave it, in a lot of cultures, like for us, I remember my mom used to say, "Jaise pregnancy, birth hua baby ka," and she used to say, "Tie your towel around your
Hmm.
stomach so that it doesn't come out." है ना? कान बंद करो, you
Yeah,
know,
Hawa, correct.
हवा नहीं जाना चाहिए. Then she used to give all til and all ka laddu and all. You need to be very strong. And without ghee, she never fed me anything because she said that is going to make your body strong. See, when there are things that we do because culturally we know, but apart from that, taking time for ourselves is also something very important. It's physically if you're keeping your body fit, emotionally also, you need to take space for your feelings. Maybe if you're experiencing any postpartum depression, seek therapy from anyone you feel comfortable with without shame.
Hmm.
Uh, because I've never heard any of my friends taking any help from anyone. Now, should I be going? No. And giving ourselves permission to rest and reset. That's the best part. Always rest and reset, rest and reset. Just like, celebrating babies' milestones, I think women should start celebrating mom's mental wins, like
Wow.
saying no without guilt and taking time off guilt free. I think that is something that mothers should start celebrating from now. Those are the milestones that they should be celebrating. बच्चे का तो करते हैं.
Yeah, yeah,
What
true.
about you?
I am again getting goosebumps. So whatever you're telling me, I'm able to relate it so well, and I think I hope this also serves as a medium to educate and empower all the mothers and all the families also who see this, that it's genuinely that people, especially the new mothers, or even if you have kids that are older, you need that time to yourself, and
It's
you need.
basically, you talk about self-care openly, na? So model it for your kids. So
Yeah.
for me, because I have one child who's a boy, okay? And I spoke about periods, about, how a woman changes over the time, physical changes that a girl experiences, along with that pregnancy, whatever things that happen with a woman. Because I feel that I don't have a daughter. There is no chance that he would know about these things.
Correct.
But by normalizing these things for him, he actually understands his friends
Hmm.
and he does support his friends whenever they are going through certain ups and downs. And when you're modeling it for your kids, that is something that they are going to understand when they're going to get married,
Yeah,
whether it is a girl or a boy.
correct.
And
Absolutely.
encourage it in your circle to do the same. No, you are part of mom's circle. Then why do you have to feel the shame or guilt or resentment? Just say that self-care is something equally important. Because when one mom rises, others feel safe to follow. Be
Yeah.
that one mom who can do things for the kid and for herself as well.
Wow, that's wonderful. Be that one mom and be that, take that
Torchbearer.
torch bearer. Huh? I was looking for that word. Be the torch bearer and wow, yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much. And last, just one question came into my mind because I was just having a conversation with a patient of mine. She had come day before yesterday, and now both the children are in US. And she's not. I mean, she's dedicated her life to her children till her education, till their education and their professional careers got set. So what advice would you give to mothers who have now settled in terms of that children have settled, and how do they cope with, because that time they're also going through, I think, menopause. Also, a great agenda of life is over. So loneliness, I felt like, when I was talking to her, I could feel like she loved talking to me, and we spoke for almost 1 hour. And that's when I realized that, sometimes all they want is, just to talk to somebody. And so, what advice would you give them?
The first thing is, Darshita, we need to understand that um, mothers, they have been told, at least not this generation, but
Yeah.
maybe 6, 7 years back till then, mothers were told that the whole agenda of your life is to take care of your husband and your kids. Okay? बच्चे अच्छे हो गए तो तुम्हारी लाइफ तो सेट है बच्चों का अच्छा होना है सो इसमें ना they forget one thing that when the woman's whole agenda is to only raise the kids, give them, provide for them, at the same time make them feel comfortable and then send them off. But she had not experienced or she has not, dealt with her life in any
Hmm.
way. Never understood what her passions were, never understood what she wanted in life. Yesterday, I had a client who said that I never, I don't know what to buy for myself. And
No,
every time I used to go, I used to ask my kids, "Kya acha hai?" And then they used to say,
definitely.
and then I used to get. Now I'm missing them. But you have to buy something for your happiness, not for satisfying or for brownie points from someone, right?
Hmm.
So for them, first identify what are the things, very small things that you enjoy in life. Maybe a cup of coffee with yourself.
Hmm.
Maybe they never experience because every time we see mothers running around and then sipping the coffee or tea very fast. Second thing is spend time with friends.
Hmm.
You do have friends, have the same age group women, wherein you can mingle with them and share your experiences and also listen to other experiences.
Yeah.
Then you will not feel lonely. At the same time, it's never too late. If you're good at something, start.
Start.
There are many women who start with their art and craft classes. Yeah, they start tuitions. These are minimum things that they can stay at home and do. And if at all you want to learn dance, go now, learn dance,
Yeah.
right? So small things, as I said, one small pebble also can bring a ripple in the pond.
Great. Yeah.
You just have to put that pebble and see the magic.
Lovely, lovely. I actually have tears in my eyes, literally. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Anuradha, for sharing your beautiful insights and shedding light on the emotional layers of motherhood that go unseen. So to every mother who's watching, you are doing enough in the midst of giving, to your family, your career, your homes, everything. Do not forget that your health and your smile matters too, because that's a shift that I personally wanted to get. I'll just speak a little bit about myself. So I mean, I say so many things, ki oral wellness mein ye karo, and everything. And just couple of days back, I had enrolled for a course, and they wanted a patient that, वो patient के ऊपर, it's like a live patient on whom we can show this process. So I said, yeah, why don't you show it on me? I would be happy to see, how a smile makeover looks like. So actually, what started off as a test drive, just to see how, that smile can this thing. तो जब भी चेकअप एंड वो स्कैन किया, I saw I had unattended cavities. And I was like, being a dentist, and how in the past 9 years, I haven't consciously taken care. Like, obviously, I brush and everything, but I have not honestly done my own checkup. And when, somebody else did it for me, I was like, okay, I have to do this for Mother's Day, that, because we neglect our so many aspects, and oral health is just because it's my domain, like I'm just going to throw a little light. So I myself, got myself treated all the cavities that were there, and I was little conscious about the way my teeth were, so I did the smile makeover as well. And today when I'm talking to anybody, or I'm talking to my patient, or I'm talking to even my staff, honestly, and the way you show up, or the way you speak, and the kind of because you've been through that journey, it's just very beautiful. So be it pregnancy, be it motherhood, be it any shift that your, as a woman, your life is undergoing, you definitely need to take care of your mental health, emotional health, physical health. And I realized this when, I was making, today what all we'll talk about, Anuradha. Last year, somewhere in May, um, I think the reason why I also came up with the concept of dental spa is because I felt that we all need, especially as women, we all need a little self-care and a little pampering. And I said, वो dentistry में क्यों नहीं है? Why is, dentistry still being seen as, oh my God, अगर पेन होगा तो ही जाओ, या oh my God, अगर मैं जाऊंगी तो, ये पेन होगा, और, we just, globally, it's a huge fear. So I realized, when I was kind of thinking, and I do a lot of journaling. So when I was doing the journaling, I realized that the concept of dental spa came to me because as a mother, I felt that I did not do that self-care and pampering and everything, which I really want all the mothers to do. So be it pregnancy, be it you're a new mom, or in general you just want to pamper yourself. I mean, below this video we'll definitely leave both our contact details, Anuradha ma'am's as well as mine. So get in touch with us, and we can definitely help you on this journey, so that you have at least much a better experience. I mean, all this is done just so that a person's life becomes a little better. So thank you so much, Anuradha, for your time. And
Thank you so much, Darshita, for such a wonderful conversation. It's a very much required one. And I just hope, you know, whoever will be listening can have at least one takeaway from our conversation.
absolutely,
It's a
absolutely.
need of the hour.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.